The eldest daughter of a duke tore down the corridor of her own manor as if something were chasing her. She slipped into a room at the far end of the wing that not one servant was permitted to enter. Inside hung the secret that could ruin her. Hundreds of portraits of the same man, everyone painted by her own hand. Because a lady of her rank was never allowed to love him. Let's rewind. In the kingdom of Granbell, knights were never treated as ordinary soldiers. To the noble ladies of the capital, they were idols, and each lady chose one to adore above all others. A single gesture from him could set a heart racing. A moment of eye contact was enough to carry a girl for a week. Our story starts at the manor of the Leyren Viscounts on a quiet spring afternoon. In the garden, a young man closed both hands around the grip of his sword. His eyes narrowed on a target only he could see, and the blade came down in a single clean line of light. Clive Leyren, 19 years old, the second son of the Leyren Viscount family, and watching him from the shade, a pair of blue eyes that never once looked away. Alice Morgan, 17, the eldest daughter of the Morgan ducal house. How wonderful he looks today as well, she thought. The two manors sat side by side, which gave her the perfect excuse. They were childhood friends, after all. So Alice used that privilege to visit constantly, setting up her easel while Clive trained for the hardest post in the kingdom. He was the only rookie rumored to have already secured a place in the royal guard. To Alice, even his sweat outshone diamonds. I would happily be the towel he wipes it with. No, I would rather be the sweat itself. If nobody sells merchandise of your favorite, you make it yourself. 10 years of painting him, and she considered herself the only artist who did him justice. Practice ended. Clive let out a long breath and rolled his shoulder. Will you be unveiling that one at the salon as well? Of course. Everyone deserves to see your brilliance. The salon in question was the Clive Fan Club. In Granbell, it was custom to gather and support a favorite knight as a group. Still, it's embarrassing having my face shown to so many people. And those paintings get sold afterward, don't they? Clive winced. He had walked straight into the argument he could never win. He could ask her to keep them private, but then things might go back to the way they were before. His popularity had become a genuine problem. Ladies waited in ambush at the academy gates and broke into his dormitory to steal his belongings. Worse, every one of them outranked the Leyren Viscounts. His family had no way to push back until Alice founded the fan club and brought them all under her authority. The repeat offenders vanished almost overnight, and Clive finally got to live in peace. So please endure the portraits a little longer, at least until you pass the Royal Guard exam. Once you become a Royal Guard, you belong to the king himself. No noble, however highly ranked, will dare lay a finger on you. Until that day, I take full responsibility for painting you beautifully, so put up with me a while longer. Thank you. Honestly, I'm glad it's you doing the painting, Alice. You're welcome here anytime. A single sentence and her whole afternoon was worth it. What Clive didn't know was where the auction money actually went. Part covered paints and salon costs. The rest Alice was quietly saving to buy him a ceremonial sword finer than any other knight's, for the day he was officially appointed. It looks like practice is over, so I'll take my leave. Already? I was hoping you'd stay for tea. I still have an assignment to finish, I'm sorry. I see, that's a shame. She hated seeing him make that face. But even with the assignment done, she could never let herself stay longer than this. Invite me again whenever there's another chance. Yes, of course. And so she left, smiling, with her maids carrying the easel behind her. The smile lasted exactly as long as the carriage ride home. From the clumsy sketches she made as a child to the pieces she had become too attached to sell, every one of them was still here. Her favorite was painted 5 years ago, to commemorate the day he entered the Knight Academy. She kept telling herself this yearning was only admiration. Enormous gems, gowns cut from the finest cloth, tea brewed from leaves most people never see. As a daughter of one of the 4 great houses, Alice lived a life of absolute luxury. A life built on generations of Morgan service to the crown and on ordinary people working hard and paying their taxes. Which meant she had long ago accepted that she would marry whoever her father chose, for the good of the family. And the leading candidate for her hand was the crown prince himself. She was one of 4 young women being trained by the kingdom to become its next crown princess. A lady like that could never admit she loved the second son of a viscount. Even if the crown passed her by, the gap between them was still far too wide. This love was never going to come true. To understand why she loved him that much, you have to go back 12 years to the Morgan Manor. Kevin, Jill, wait for me! Don't leave me behind! That's your own fault for being slow. We're not free all day. We're going ahead. The two brothers laughed and walked off. Alice was 5 years old then. They had promised to walk the garden with her and left her standing in the middle of the path. She stood there alone until the tears came. I hate my brothers. And not only that day. They climbed high into the trees and laughed at her for not being able to follow, and once they gave her a gift box full of insects. She knew that if she went home crying, her parents would scold them, but she feared that more, that they would never play with her again. So she chose instead to find somewhere to hide and stay there until the tears dried on their own. She sat curled against the iron fence, sobbing. Then a voice came from the other side. "Are you all right?" "I'm Clive, the second son of the Laren Viscounts next door. You're Alice, the youngest, aren't you?" Alice flinched and covered her face with both hands. She had never let anyone see her cry. The boy on the other side felt along the bars until he found the rusted section, the one gap wide enough to squeeze through. Then he climbed over and crouched down to her eye level. "I'm here now, so it's all right. What happened?" And he held out his handkerchief to wipe her tears. "You're not going to bully me?" she asked, because she had believed every boy was selfish and rough. "Of course not. I want to be your friend." "But I'm slow at running, and I can't climb trees yet." "You're still small, so of course you can't. Just play the things you can do, building castles with blocks or reading books together." Those were exactly the games she loved, the ones her brothers had never played with her. "Clive, would you really play those with me?" "Sure, if that's what you want." He patted her head, and it was the first time in her life that Alice felt chosen. "Who was bullying you?" "Kevin and Jill." Clive frowned, so much older than her, and that was how they treated a little girl. "Will you play with me from now on?" "Yes, I'll play with you, Clive." A few years passed like that. The boy beyond the fence grew and took up the sword. "Alice, why is there dirt all over your dress?" "Jill threw a mud ball at me." "Such a lovely dress, too. He's as terrible as ever. Wait here a moment." He knelt to inspect the stain. "This much will wash out if we're quick. Come back to the manor and we'll ask a maid." Then he ran off to find the culprit. "Alice, I didn't mean it." Jill turned around and realized the person in front of him was not his sister. "That's my line. How many more times do you plan to make your own sister cry?" "I only meant to startle her. I didn't think it would actually hit. Crying over one mud ball is being dramatic." Then he kicked a pebble and muttered, "Lately she's always stuck to you anyway. She never plays with me." Alice stood there, unable to understand what her brother was angry about. Kevin cut in too. "Hey, Clive, play with us instead of Alice. Shut in a room with her has to be boring." Alice said nothing. She knew Clive ran faster than Jill and climbed better too. Maybe it would be better to let him go play with Jill. "Playing with Alice is fun. If you want someone for running games, invite my older brother. He gets lonely because you rarely ask him." That answer left both brothers speechless and furious. Alice timidly took hold of his sleeve. "Alice, if you keep hogging Clive, I won't play with you anymore." "Lord Jill, act your age. You're already 12. As her older brother, you should be doting on a 5-year-old sister, not behaving like a fool." "Keep this up and she'll end up hating you." "Alice, hate me? Ridiculous. Bully Alice again and I won't stand by. Consider yourself warned." Jill's legs shook and he ran. "Clive, you're so strong." "Honestly, I was scared too, but I'm glad I tried. From now on, I'll protect you." "Really? Then will you be my knight, Clive?" "Yes, I promise. I'll become a knight stronger than anyone else for you." "I'm so happy. I love you, Clive." "I love you too, Alice. I've always wanted a cute little sister like you." After that day, the pranks stopped and Alice stopped crying. Clive was always beside her, and before long he became the person she admired most. Then those feelings shifted, from seeing him as a brother to seeing him as a man. This unrequited love has already lasted 10 years. The fence between the manors she could climb with ease. The wall of status built over generations was too high to even attempt. The day one of them is set to marry, she will give up on her own. Only until then, please, let her keep these feelings. Another afternoon, and the Morgan Manor was full of rustling skirts again. The Clive fan club was meeting. "Is Lord Clive away again today? My window looks straight onto the Laren Manor and I still never catch sight of him." "Thank you all for coming. I have a new piece to show you." The room went still for a beat. It's as if the real Lord Clive were standing behind the frame. Lady Alice, when will this one go to auction? Wait, could you push it back a little? I still have to ask my father for the money. That sounds like your own problem, doesn't it? Lately, the salon days kept falling on the days Clive went out. Some of them hadn't laid eyes on him in half a year. Alice knew exactly how badly they wanted this newest portrait. But we can't hold an auction with a single painting. I'm thinking of putting out some childhood drawings from my studio as well. Amateur work, but give me a little time to choose. Drawings of Lord Clive as a boy? Something none of us has ever seen? The whole room detonated. One more thing. To pray for Lord Clive's success in the Royal Guard exam, shall we make sword tassels together? But only one sword can be brought into the exam. What's the point of making so many? We'll mount them all in a single frame, one large protective charm to send to him. Some of them wouldn't be able to afford a painting. As president, she had to have something else ready so nobody went home empty-handed. I'm glad you all agree. Let's discuss the designs over tea. And the salon was as lively as ever. Here everyone was a rival to everyone else, and also the only confidant they had. This was the one place they could talk their hearts out. Lady Mirabelle, what a shame. You missed him again today. Lord Clive is a busy man. It can't be helped. It's not as though I'll never see him again. For now, the garden is enough for me. The guests all went home. Alice told her attendants she wanted to take a walk. She walked the garden with one maid under the blossoming apple trees. They're lovely, and the scent too. Perhaps I'll have some cut for my room later. Then the maid leaned close to her ear and whispered something. Alice walked straight out through the Morgan gates and along the wall toward the Laren Manor. Oh my, what are you doing out here? Lady Alice, what brings you? Mirabelle spun around with a start. The salon ended a long while ago. Why are you still here? I got the time of my carriage wrong. She's lying. A follower. Lady Mirabelle is standing here waiting for Lord Clive to come home. That is a violation of the club's rules. And if she feeds Clive the same excuse she just fed Alice, Clive is a knight and Mirabelle outranks him. He wouldn't be able to turn her away. Alice could understand that kind of love. What she could not overlook was anything that disturbed Clive's peace. If you didn't want to impose on my household, why not ask the gatekeeper and wait at the Morgan main gate? Standing here only troubles the Larens who have nothing to do with the salon. Surely someone like you understands that. You aren't thinking of breaking the rules, are you? Oh, you've gone quite pale. Are you all right? How terrible of me. Did I take the joke too far? A joke? Lord Clive once told me that the members of the club I run are all moderate, well-mannered ladies. There couldn't possibly be anyone here who would betray the trust of the man they adore. Mirabelle's tears spilled over. If you continue to be a model for everyone, I'll still consider someone as devoted as you a good comrade. And I was thinking of letting you have one from my private collection. You mean a painting that's never been shown? Rewarding model students is the president's duty, isn't it? On one side of the scale, a painting Alice had never been willing to sell. On the other, a bit of loitering. Mirabelle didn't need half a second. I really did get the time wrong. Believe me, please let me have it. Of course. But if someone who doesn't know the situation saw you standing here, I'll go home right now, even if I have to walk. Please take this carriage. I took the liberty of preparing it for you. And Alice watched the carriage roll away out of sight. Alice, why are you out here? Clive had just ridden home. Back from training? You've worked hard today. I was only taking a walk. 1 minute later, and he would have been put in an impossible position. It seems I've been saved by you again. Duty, is it? Alice, you really are a fine leader. I feel I could trust you with anything. If it were only duty, she would never have gone that far. She wished she could say it plainly. It's because I want to protect you, my beloved Lord Clive. That day, Alice was inside the royal palace at the riding grounds. The future Queen of Granbelle was expected to be capable of everything in order to support the king. So the training for Crown Princess candidates covered etiquette, general knowledge, and horsemanship. Lady Alice, you ride beautifully. It's only because this horse is clever and well-behaved. The truth was, she was athletic because she had spent her childhood chasing 2 older brothers and playing rough games with Clive. The other 3 candidates watched her with eyes that could burn a hole through her. But if this much made her flinch, she'd never stand a chance against Lord Clive's stalkers. Teacher, I think I've overexerted myself a little. May I rest inside for a while? The lesson is almost over anyway. I trust you, so I'll leave the key with you. Return it to the palace keykeeper when you're done." And the door opened onto a smile no instructor should ever have seen. Inside, she sat drinking tea as obedient as any model lady. Then she stood. "I'm going to the 3rd floor. Keep watch for me." Because today, in a corner of the royal palace, Lord Clive was entering the 3rd round of the Royal Guard exam. Luckily, the exam grounds were not far from this resting building. She stepped onto the balcony and raised her binoculars. Lord Clive. He had once said that if Alice were nearby, he'd have the confidence to fight at his full strength. If that was his wish, she had no choice. She couldn't show herself, but she would cheer for him with her whole soul. If I could just shift a little further right, I'd be able to see. Oh, I think I could climb up there. It's exactly like climbing a tree as a child. She pulled herself onto the ledge and aimed the binoculars past the branches, then froze. Philip Granbell, Crown Prince of the Kingdom of Granbell, and Sherry Alcott, daughter of the Alcott barons, looking up at him with an expression impossible to misread. Prince Philip, and the baron's daughter the whole of high society was gossiping about. Did I just catch my fiancé, on paper at least, in the middle of an affair? Then he leaned down and kissed her. The binoculars slipped from Alice's hands and shattered on the ground below. The prince's head snapped up and looked straight at the 3rd floor balcony. "Good day, Lady Alice. What a coincidence meeting you in a place like this." No matter how she worked it, there was no escape. She hadn't expected him to be that fast on his feet. "Your Highness, I didn't expect to find you here either." "Your Highness, if it's a secret romance, hide it better than this. At this rate, you won't be able to protect her." "You aren't angry? Would it be more convenient for you if I scolded you?" So that was it. His Highness was trapped in a hopeless love as well. There's no point in making excuses. Sherry and I were classmates at the Royal Academy. We studied together, and before I knew it, we were looking at each other as a man and a woman. I tried to keep my distance once I realized, but I couldn't crush the feeling. It's pathetic, really. A year ago, the day the Crown Princess candidates were announced, I happened to find her crying in secret. Before I could think, I had gone to her and held her. I thought it would be just that once, and I still haven't been able to let go. Alice understood. She was using the fan club as cover to stay near Clive in exactly the same way. Being allowed to express it openly was what let her vent the pain, and what let her stop just short of the line she must never cross. "How many people know, Your Highness?" 6 royal guards, 1 servant, and now you. Of all people to find me out, it had to be the most troublesome one. His words were regretful, but his face had visibly eased. He meant to use this as his chance to end that hopeless love. For a crown prince, that was the correct decision. But I won't breathe a word about today. In exchange, would you keep quiet about my wall climbing? You're holding a fatal weakness of mine. You could have negotiated for anything. And all you ask is that I keep that quiet? Honestly, I'm in love with someone far above my reach as well. Today I was clinging to a wall with binoculars just to catch one glimpse of him. Now Your Highness and I share a secret. You've got me. We're both having a difficult youth, aren't we? Now it's your turn to listen. It's a simple story. He helped me many times when we were little, and he was always kind to me. Then he grew not only kind, but strong. The harder I try to let go, the more my eyes go back to him. And he still sees me as a little sister. This is the first time I've told anyone this. You've never hinted at it to him? No, I don't want to trouble him. If I told him and he pulled away from me, I don't think I'd recover. As long as the person I cherish can still smile, that's enough to make me happy. All I can do now is support him as a member of the fan club. Saying it out loud left her a little lighter. Talking to someone in the same situation who didn't pry too deep turned out to fit her strangely well. I never expected Lady Alice to be this easy to talk to. I always assumed you were the aloof, noble type I'm bad with. If I'm going to have a political marriage anyway, maybe a lady I can talk to easily would be better. Are you sure? You'd be marrying a lady who climbs walls. Yes, at least I won't be bored. A month passed. Neither of them said a word, and the weekly tea parties with the Crown Prince became far easier to bear. And Clive passed the 3rd Royal Guard exam at the top of his class. Good news kept arriving one after another, except for one thing. She had been chosen as the prince's first dance partner at the ball for his 20th birthday. Lord Clive, please heal me. Ever since the prince started treating her more warmly, The jealousy among the other candidates had risen sharply. But the person she had the most to say about was still Prince Philip. This makes it easier to expose what those ladies are really like. You can handle this much, can't you, Lady Alice? I'm counting on you. That was exactly what he was thinking, using her outright. By custom, the crown prince had to settle on a fiancé in the year he turned 20. To already have someone in your heart and still have to prepare to marry another. She couldn't imagine how much that hurt. And Clive would turn 22, just 1 month after the prince. The Morgans married for politics, the Layrens let their children choose. Except she was not permitted to step forward as that choice. She knew perfectly well this was an impossible love, and soon she wouldn't even have the right to love him from a distance. Take every painting off the walls and pack them in boxes. I'll be giving them to the members of the club. Handle them gently. Yes, my lady. And what about the unfinished ones? I'll finish the last one and hand it to him myself. Clive would surely pass the final exam. Once he was the king's own treasure, this shield made of paintings wouldn't be needed. The club could disband then. This time she would let go. Of the paintings and of this stubborn love. I've been summoned to the holy war against the magic beasts. I'll be with the Night Order going to the front lines. Alice went numb. Humanity worships the god Rurin, and Rurin's enemy, the demon god, occasionally drops demon eggs onto the earth. They fall disguised as shooting stars, punching craters that fill with rainwater and become springs. When the egg at the bottom defiles the water, magic beasts are born from it. To stop the egg from hatching, the spring must be purified. A priest throws in a holy crystal and, borrowing divine power, cleanses the spring and the egg together. But why were even you summoned? Because I ranked high in the practical exams, and I'm not the heir to the title. The situation is bad enough that they're scraping up candidates who've never seen a battlefield. A holy war is a fight to the death. Cannons and bows stop the beasts at range, and whatever slips through, the knights have to cut down face to face. In the Holy War 200 years ago, before cannons existed, half the frontline knights never came home. Lord Clive is going to a place like that? Please don't go. Alice, I have a request. Anything, my lord. Please, and give me your blessing. A blessing for a knight is reserved for the most important person in his life. A liege, family, or a spouse. So does that mean he sees me as... She was the daughter of the proud Morgan ducal house. She absolutely could not see off a knight bound for a holy war wearing a pathetic face. I wish you victory in battle. Please let no wound come to him. Please let him come home safely. And please let the thread between him and me stretch on into the future. Thank you, I'm off. And he mounted his horse. She watched until horse and rider vanished past the palace gate. Am I really going to let the memories between us end here? Am I really going to let him be hurt? No, I won't allow it. Father, you know about the holy war over the demon egg, don't you? I want to join the Night Order's logistics and medical corps. Please give me your permission. I don't have Jill's knowledge, but I've gained experience in first aid and basic nursing through disaster relief. This holy war is men only, from the knights to the logistics. However capable you are, as a woman, your request will not be granted. Why is it only for men? Women would need separate sleeping quarters and separate washing facilities. Out there, the situation is too dire for anyone to arrange such things. It was worse than she had imagined. Alice, I can guess why you want to go, but the only thing you can do right now is pray. After Clive departed, Alice shut herself in the chapel at the far end of the grounds and prayed from morning until night. She ordered her meals changed to cheap bread, dried meat, and thin soup, exactly what she imagined people ate at the front. Is Lord Clive safe? Why can I do nothing but sit here and wait? Oh God, please protect him. Please. The moment he suffers most is the moment she most wants to be beside him. She wants to stand next to him and shield him. 2 weeks passed. The ladies of the club came to the Morgan Manor. Lady Alice, have you looked in a mirror? We're worried about your health. Thank you all. But the people I cherish are pushing their bodies past the limit without a moment's rest, to hold this country and to hold us. The day after Clive left, Jill departed as well, as head of the medical corps. Then priests she knew, the brothers of her friends. One by one, the people she knew went to war. She could no longer be satisfied with praying in a safe place. Lady Alice! She shot up out of her chair. Your Highness, I am terribly sorry. This was not the chapel. This was a palace reception room, in the middle of the most important tea party of the week. Your complexion is awful. Are you feeling unwell? No, Your Highness. I'm only worried about the Holy War. Please forgive me. As I thought, Lady Alice, you are different from the other candidates. The rest of them merely play the part of a candidate who worries about the war. Empty words, as if it were someone else's business. You're the only one praying to the point of giving up every comfort. For my part, I find your ability to truly ache for others quite admirable. People are risking their lives to hold this country, and here I sit drinking tea in comfort. Your Highness, that is not something you should say to a lady who wants to be your wife. I say it only to you. Then he set down his cup. I've decided. I'll choose you as my princess. From that tone, he must have decided long ago. So soon? There's still a year before the official selection. Then you mean to let go of Lady Sherry? Both of us knew from the start that this love had no way out. The longer it drags on, the harder it is to leave and the deeper the wound. If we must part, better to part early. I don't think I could feel affection for any other lady, so I'd rather choose someone in the same situation. Do you hate the idea? If she had to marry without love anyway, she'd rather be his wife. If she became queen, the Morgan family's standing would hold firm for a long while yet. He knew perfectly well she couldn't refuse, and he still asked, "Do you hate it?" That calculating streak she rather liked. Better than being handed to some arrogant man. Could you share a bed with someone you don't love? I'll manage, Your Highness. It's the fate of those born to this rank. Bear with it. He didn't sugarcoat it with pleasant lies. Black-hearted, but a gentleman all the same, which meant he might just hear out a slightly unreasonable proposal. Then I have one request. When I become crown princess, allow me to take Lady Sherry as my head lady-in-waiting. And please continue your relationship with her. What are you saying? You want me to do something that dishonorable to you? I'm not skilled enough to compartmentalize that neatly. You're telling me to father an heir with you while keeping her at my side? We only need to endure 3 years. We'll act the part of a devoted couple and keep it hidden that this marriage is a marriage in name only. By custom, if there's no child after 3 years, the crown prince may take a second consort by special decree to secure an heir. During those 3 years, I'll keep Lady Sherry in attendance beside me. I'll assess her loyalty, then have her adopted into the Morgan family. After that, Your Highness need only name her your second consort. The Morgans would produce both the queen and a consort, and our voice at court grows heavier. And Your Highness gets to officially marry the woman you love. What do you say? The royal family loses nothing. The ducal house gains, and I get my treasure. It's an attractive proposal, but a queen who bears no children will have her reputation destroyed. You must have some very particular wish to go that far. You're right. The condition for this plan to work is that the man I love comes home alive. When he does, appoint him as the Queen's personal royal guard. You know his skill well enough. Watching Clive leave for the Holy War, she finally understood. Simply being able to see him nearby was enough to make her happy. If this love wasn't going to come true, then she wanted to be near him in any form at all. That's why she came up with this 3-year plan. Are you threatening me? That if Clive Liren dies out there, my wish dies with him? A threat? How cruel of you. Let's call it a trade. Shall I pull him off the front line? No, a knight withdrawn from the front is treated as a problem later, and it would hurt his chances at the Royal Guard. Increasing reinforcements is the realistic answer. Both of them nodded. The deal was struck. But calling on our allies while claiming we can handle it ourselves means, by treaty, paying them a very large sum. The crown princess's budget would be cut. Can you live with that? Of course. My gowns, including the engagement ceremony, will be off the rack or things I already own. Hand-me-downs from the queen or my mother would do. I'll be known as the frugal crown princess who puts the nation's safety above her wardrobe. The people will approve as well. Wonderful. Then I shall follow my princess's lead and practice frugality myself. As I thought, we'll make excellent partners. She had just gained a very powerful accomplice. Now she only had to wait for the Holy War to end and for Clive to come home. What he felt for her was affection for a little sister. But she would take that word love in any form it came. Your Highness, please look at this at once. Philip read the paper, then looked up. Lady Alice, it seems the budget won't be cut after all. There's been an incident. The front line has collapsed under a magic beast outbreak. They fell back to the second defense line where the logistics units were and concentrated their forces. They held, and fortunately, there are no deaths. But there are many severely wounded. The situation is extremely dire. No, Lord Clive. If we don't replenish our forces immediately, we're in grave danger. I'll go and negotiate with our allies myself. All personal knights, prepare to leave the country. If Granbell falls, the neighboring nations take the damage too. They will certainly send knights. And with the Crown Prince going in person, they can borrow even more. She envied the power he held in his hands. Your Highness, is there truly nothing I can do? Is it absolutely impossible for a woman to go to the Holy War? There is such a thing as a divine child within the temple. You know of them? In this world, there are humans granted an angel's blessing by the god Ruran, those chosen to save people through miracles. Most divine children are given the power to heal wounds. They are rare enough that the whole kingdom of Granbell has only a handful, and their voice is honored on par with the royal family. This holy war is closed to women, but on the condition that she disguises herself as a man to hide her identity, one female divine child may take part, if she herself strongly requests it. Is it all right to tell me about that exception? I've decided to make you my princess. I judged that I could share important matters with you. The only one who can overturn state policy and create an exception is a divine child. And she was not one. He was telling her in a roundabout way to give up on going. I understand. I'll continue praying in the chapel. And she turned and walked away. The Morgan Ducal Manor. Oh God, hear my prayer. Lord Clive is an irreplaceable treasure to humanity. He is gentle, and he has never once been angry with me, a man of rare tolerance. I have never met anyone with a heart at once so beautiful, so strong, and so kind. He is clearly a miraculous existence. Look at this commemorative plate. When we founded the club, he carved time out of his schedule to model for us. Please stand here with your sword. Yes, is a pose like this all right? I asked what reward he wanted. He only smiled. Everyone is always supporting me anyway. A Lord Clive doll, every household should have one. A Lord Clive figurine for good fortune. And the club banner, a member's essential item. All treasures, wouldn't you agree? I offer up every one of these treasures. Please save Lord Clive. If that isn't enough, so be it. I'll throw in the flower bookmark Lord Clive gave me. How about that? That's my final offer. Oh, and Jill as well. He's difficult, admittedly, but he's a fine doctor who has saved a great many lives. While you're at it, watch over him too. Humanity still needs a lot of people. You'll save them, won't you? Losing them would be a loss for this country. No, for the whole world. Have you ever seen Lord Clive's swordsmanship? There is delicacy inside the power. Even a god would have to sigh in admiration. Anyone who saw it would fall in love. And I have fallen completely. I love him. I love him so much I can't help myself. Of course she worried about the other knights and about Jill. She didn't want anyone to die. But the reason she felt it from the bottom of her heart was that her most precious person had gone to the battlefield. If Lord Clive weren't fighting, she would have put on a worried face while quietly treating it as someone else's problem. A selfish lady, very far from any universal love. In the end, she was no different from the ladies the prince despised. But the wish to help him was real, with nothing embellished about it. And I'm not the only one who wishes it. Everyone is desperately praying for their loved ones to come home alive. If you truly uphold love and peace, then lend your strength to the people willing to bet everything on love. Grant the blessing to as many as you can, so they can overcome the magic beasts. Why won't you answer me? Nearly a month since Clive left. However much she prayed, the war did not improve. If anything, it worsened. She could only conclude that God had abandoned his duties. I beg you, I don't want to lose someone precious. Blessing many priests is difficult, I understand. Then what I do? I'm no priest, but I pray every single day, and I'm in excellent health. If it protects Lord Clive and the people I love, I'm prepared to be your slave. My will is right here, unshakable. Now it's your turn to answer. Or do you intend to keep standing by and watching? Oh God, Rurin, if anything happens to Lord Clive or to Jill, then I shall have no choice but to hate you with all my heart. Please don't disappoint our faith any further. And a shaft of white light erupted beside her. Oh no, did I actually just anger a god? The sunlight through the stained glass went out. So did the candles on the altar. It was as if she'd been sealed inside a black box. But this was proof that her voice had reached God. Wasn't this her chance? Spirited maiden, those words were not lies? Do you truly intend to bet your life for the man you love? Yes. If you grant me the power to save Lord Clive and everyone who went to the Holy War, I will offer up my very soul. I swear to become your servant and devote myself to restoring peace to the world. I spoke about Lord Clive with that much passion and you're still only half convinced? Every time I see him, my heart races. Every time I hear his voice, my ears... I understand already. Calm yourself. If your love runs that deep, your soul must be strong as well. I see here a vessel firm enough to receive a great blessing without shattering. If you wish to save those you love, visualize the form of the power you want, grasp that light, and pray. Energy surged through her whole body. Divine energy compatibility confirmed. Load resistance for the blessing sufficient. Alice Morgan is recognized as a divine child. A sword appeared in her hand. The first time she had ever held one, and it sat in her grip as though it had always belonged there. You chose the power to fight over the power to heal? Yes. While enemies remain, healing only means the man I love will stand up and throw himself at them again. I don't want to see him hurt even once more, so let me be the one who mows them all down. Very well. That is a holy sword, and it shows its worth only against magic beasts and demons. There is exactly one thing it cannot cut, and that is a human, and no one but you can wield it. I, Alice, will serve you exactly as I swore. I have high expectations of you. Lastly, I assign you a very special personal angel. I leave this world in your hands. The god's presence receded, but she felt another presence drawing near. I am Verhelum, the angel who presides over battle and the sword. As long as you live, I shall grant you my blessing through my divine energy. I'm counting on you from here, Alice. Angel Verhelum, it's an honor. Please guide me. Of course, I'll support you with all my might. Then let's head to the Holy War at once. Wait, you can't go outside yet. The sanctuary is still deployed. I don't even know where the exit is. I want to get to Lord Clive as soon as possible. I could let you out alone, but I can't send a divine child off with no idea where she's going. Except I'm not a being of the secular world. Outside the sanctuary, I can't hold this form. I need a vessel. I was listening alongside God Rurin earlier. Impressive, really. Every single thing in this room relates to exactly one man. This is an emergency, so I'll make do with this. Her Lord Clive doll. The one she'd had the cloth dyed to match his hair and eyes exactly, whose pattern she drafted herself and sewed stitch by stitch. The masterpiece of her life. The limbs are short, but it's not bad. The doll stood up and walked on its own. The doll she whispered words of love to in Lord Clive's place. The doll she used as her partner for imaginary dates. The doll she kept by her pillow every night like a charm. It was moving, a miracle. Naturally, you should worship me, for I am an angel. The real Lord Clive would never make gestures like that. That very gap was unbearably adorable. She wanted to see more. If you wouldn't mind, could you tilt your head for me? And now, could you scratch your cheek as if you were embarrassed? Thank you. I shall cherish and enshrine you for the rest of my life. Good. This one's rather honest. Just call me Vare. Let's be friends. Lord Vare, I feel like I can do anything now. Then let's prepare to depart at once. Father, while I was praying, I was granted an audience with God, and I have been recognized as a divine child. From now on, I'll dress as a man and join the holy war alongside an angel. Should I call a doctor? His daughter was the foremost lady of the kingdom, recently given unofficial approval as crown princess. For a girl like that to burst into his office with her hair a mess, a sword in one hand and a doll in the other, was not normal. A doctor won't be necessary. I am perfectly sane. I am Verhelum, Alice's personal angel. I am the agent of God, sent down in answer to her fierce prayer. You would do well to remember that. The doll just talked. It's hardly strange an angel is possessing it. And this is the holy sword from the heavens, which only a divine child can use. Father, try holding it. His hand passed straight through the blade. Truly, no one but her could touch it. Now I have no choice but to believe it. But I can't so easily permit you to go to the holy war. A blessing and a holy sword change nothing. A lady raised in silk can't handle a blade. Fighting magic beasts is not that simple. That likely won't be a problem. She vaulted over the balcony rail into the garden. "Please watch, father." And she swung the sword. "When did I ever let you learn swordsmanship?" "I never did learn. I'm only recreating Lord Clive's movements." That swordplay was burned into her memory so vividly she could rebuild it with her eyes shut. And thanks to the blessing, her body now matched that image perfectly. But can those thin arms actually cut a monster? She walked to the large tree in the middle of the yard and swung. The trunk came apart in sections. Is the holy sword that sharp, or has the blessing reinforced my body? It cut with far less force than she expected. How was that, father? It could be said with certainty. Alice now held the greatest power in the kingdom of Grenbel. Except, you don't have any men's clothing to disguise yourself in. Your brother's things would hang off you. To blend into a knight order, you'd need a uniform tailored, and that takes time. She opened the wardrobe and stepped out in a black uniform trimmed with gold. Why do you have something like that? To imitate Lord Clive's appearance. I used to enjoy wearing it alone at night, but I never imagined a day would come when I'd have to wear it in public. Even if you go on your own, nobody will accept you. Disguised and hiding your identity, they'll turn you away as suspicious or arrest you outright. Leave that to me. Before leaving the sanctuary, I contacted my fellow angels and had another divine child arrange for the temple to send an escort. Someone will arrive to collect her within a few hours. Darling, Alice! Don't give up so easily. How could I let our precious daughter go to a battlefield? Alice, reconsider. Even against magic beasts, taking lives doesn't suit a lady. She knew her family loved her from the bottom of their hearts and feared losing her, but her resolve would not waver. Mother, even Jill has gone to the Holy War. Please accept my choice as well. And Kevin, I am also a noble who represents this country. It's time I repaid the favors the people have given me. I'm sorry, everyone, but I promised God I would save Cly, save the world from this crisis. Her prayer had finally been heard. She could not choose to lose her nerve and run now. Not even the king can obstruct the will of a divine child. He understood that no one could stop his daughter anymore, but to have both his son and his daughter exposed to danger was painful for a father. That's enough. Go. Remember what I said. You're my precious little sister. I'll grant you any wish you want, so you must come back alive. She thought she had prepared herself for the holy war. Yet standing here, all she wanted was to linger with her family a little longer. So she raised the sword and cut her long hair away. Lord Clive, I'm coming! Hair cropped short, uniform straight. What stood in the mirror was a young man nobody would recognize. I'm off to the holy war. You look the part. Let's go, your ride arrived earlier than expected. Outside the gate stood the temple's holy knights, the elite of the elite, who normally serve only as a divine child's personal guard. Defending the temple mattered that much, and still they had sent this many to escort her to the front. This is far enough for the send-off. Please pray for my safety. Of course, Alice, you are my pride. Now go. Yes, I'll be going. The column of horses tore away. She had said she wanted to reach the front as soon as possible, but honestly, she was frightened. It's useless to hide it. Your heart is in turmoil, is it not? There's nothing to be ashamed of. Anyone would falter at something they aren't used to. Let me lend you a hand. Executing mental interference through divine energy. Transferring fear to self. Reduction in fear confirmed. You said you'd transfer the fear to yourself. Are you all right, Lord Vare? Who do you think I am? Something of this level doesn't move me in the slightest. Prioritize yourself and lean on me freely, Alice. Reliable and adorable at once. Lord Vare working the Lord Clive doll this skillfully truly makes him the greatest angel. A few days later, the party arrived at the site of the Holy War. That the daughter of the Morgan ducal house had come to war dressed as a man was top secret. Until the king announced it, she could not use her real name. A pleasure. I am Earth, a divine child. I've come to assist. The doll on my shoulder is my personal angel. Angel, divine child, welcome. It is an honor to meet you like this. To protect the divine child, their area was separated from the kingdom's knights. Only holy knights who knew the situation were around her. As someone dressed as a man, she was grateful for that. Not a single person realized she was Alice Morgan. The disguise was perfect. Have you finally lost your mind? Coming all this way dressed as a man? Jill Morgan, second son of the Morgan ducal family, head of the medical corps. Jill, I'm perfectly sane. Look, I even have an angel with me. You've gotten better at ventriloquism? I knew my sister was foolish, but to be so far gone that even I can't help you. Was I away from the manor too long? Damn that bastard Clive. Jill was always calm and superior. It was rare to see him like this. He had already guessed why she came. Here, Jill. The holy sword I was given when I became a divine child. Try touching it? His hand slipped through the blade. No, it's probably because my personality is twisted. That must be it. He grabbed a holy knight known for a pure heart and made him try. It slipped through too. Shh. A sword even a holy knight can't touch. Fine, so you've become a divine child. But for an idiot like you to be chosen, isn't there some kind of mistake? Mistake or not, I am a divine child now, so be happy for me. From here on, I'll go to the front and save everyone. And I'll show you I can lighten your burden too, Jill. A lady who isn't used to the sight of blood at the front line? It's nothing like the scrapes you saw during that disaster relief. You may be the strongest alive thanks to a blessing, but look at reality before you speak. Then he led her to the medical tents. The smell of disinfectant mixed with the smell of blood. Thanks to the healing divine child, nobody has died yet. But this is the situation. I don't like saying it out loud, but some of them will draw their last breath soon. The ones who survive will carry ruined bodies for the rest of their lives. A doctor talented enough to be made head of medical operations for an entire holy war at 24. And with him and the healing divine child working together, this place still overflowed with people who couldn't be saved. The magic beasts were terrifyingly strong. With a dozen skilled knights from the palace here, the situation was still this. That's not all. Kill one and your body and clothes are soaked in blood. Let that distract you for a single beat and it cost you your life. Do you still intend to go? Yes, that is my promise to God. Having seen this place with my own eyes, I want to save them even more. That Lord Vere was granting her a blessing so fear wouldn't swallow her, she kept to herself. Listen, Alice, if it gets dangerous, run. Remember that. The gap between your usual dressed-up self and this male disguise is so wide that nobody's noticed. But there's no telling about tomorrow. If you don't want to be found out, at least wear these. Break-resistant goggles, clear vision, even in a dust storm. Aren't these the ones you wear every time you rush out to the front for the wounded? You said they were hard to come by. That's exactly why I'm giving them to you. Don't return them later and I'll never forgive you. Have you greeted the other divine child? Not yet. Try to get along and don't do anything that increases my workload. Thank you for worrying about me, Jill. I'm off to the front lines. For now, the fighting was at a standstill. Lord Vere, the situation looks quite dire. Even you can tell that much, Alice? Last week's outbreak had cost them a good number of skilled fighters. In front of her, they kept their composure. She had to turn this around somehow. Oh? That person is... Lord Clive! He looks a little thinner, but he doesn't seem hurt. Lord Clive, you're safe. From now on, I'll be the one protecting you. The power of the blessing surged through her. She could even feel a thread, as though he were standing right beside her. This is a revelation. God is telling her to save the world in order to protect Lord Clive. With the power of love, there was nothing she couldn't do right now. Pack of magic beasts confirmed ahead. All units, prepare to intercept immediately. Forgive the novice question, but why not send all the knights at once? Splitting up spreads our forces too thin. We stabilize the line at this position, but the spring we're aiming for is still far off. We need to push the base forward again. And as you can see, we lack the forces. To throw in the purification crystal, we have to get close to the spring. The combat unit clears the beasts to secure safety, and the supply unit hauls the gear and moves the base up. But with thin numbers, the clearing takes longer, the intervals between attacks shorten, and the knight's exhaustion turns dangerous. In other words, if we annihilate the beast quickly enough to buy time, that would untangle this knot? Then first I need to see with my own eyes what these magic beasts are. Please guide me to the outermost line. The cannons roared, and through the smoke, a huge beast came charging. So that was a magic beast. It looked like a large animal, but its movements were erratic, and it was more violent than a lion. This is your first subjugation, Lord Earth. First observe how the knights fight. She went rigid. Lord Clive, if the cannons stop, it turns into close quarters immediately. Lord Vere, I want to go out. May I? Waiting until the fight was over would be too late. She knew Lord Clive was about to be in danger, and she couldn't stand still and watch him charge out there. "Very well, hey knight, lend me your horse!" And she rode straight past the cannon line. "Lord Ver, your instructions." "They're mindless beasts, nothing more. I'll imbue the holy sword with divine energy. Just cut them down on instinct." Her heart hammered. "Here I go." On the rise, the whole line of knights watched her go. About 20 of them. "Lord Earth, it normally takes 10 knights just to bring down one magic beast." The first stroke came down. "Excellent, Alice." "Cut them all down! Make the beasts aware you're here!" "Yes!" This holy sword really is sharp. "The beasts have locked onto you, Alice. Ride deeper in and draw them away from the defense line. They have a habit of targeting the nearest human soul. On horseback, I'm at a disadvantage. In that case," she dropped down to the ground. "You magic beasts, I shall be your opponent." One stroke swept across. She let out a breath. "Alice, don't let your guard down yet. Can you handle another wave?" "Leave it to me." Her senses were sharpening. She could feel the position of the ones outside her field of vision. The holy sword was becoming an extension of her own body. "Don't take it personally. I wonder if I've cut down about 50 by now?" Behind her, the cannons roared again. Now the base can advance safely. The second wave was gone too. As expected of the divine child, I recognized. "You did well. It's all thanks to your instructions." "Yes, now let's head back. Everyone will be overjoyed that the plan succeeded." But the entire camp stood in dead silence, staring at her. Is something the matter?" "Lord Earth, thank you for your hard work. You've returned with hardly any blood on you, and you're not even out of breath, having witnessed such overwhelming strength." She had been too absorbed in the fighting to notice, so her strength really was abnormal. She had cleanly killed what they had been struggling against. She may have just wounded the knight's pride. "I meant to raise morale, and it had the opposite effect." Then they knelt. That is the posture knights take to show loyalty. To charge straight at magic beasts that terrifying. Swordwork both powerful and delicate, and agility to match. "We are in awe of you. Please grant us inexperienced knights permission to follow your lead." The whole camp knelt before her, those gazes full of trust. So they had gone quiet because they were moved. "I accept your loyalty. I shall be the one to slice through this darkness. All of you follow me." She was glad she had been able to give them some hope. "Lord Earth, there's a private tent for you. Please rest." "Lord Clive." Lord Clive was staring at me earlier. Completely unlike his usual gaze, it was intense and powerful. He looks devastating like that, too. But that look wasn't love. It was respect. Still, being watched like that was embarrassing and wonderful at once. This blessing really is something. I feel like the strongest person alive, like a hero out of a story. A body not as tall as a man's without an ounce of muscle. Thin, unreliable fingers without a single callus. Her appearance hadn't changed at all, and she had cut down that many beasts. Right now, you are undoubtedly the strongest in this world. I hope more divine children with holy swords appear after me. Have you heard anything from your fellow angels about that? Even with a blessing, they won't become as strong as you overnight. You managed it because you happen to carry vivid memories of a great swordsman. Take the image of some amateur and it falls apart. Lord Clive. Even here, she was being held up by Lord Clive. Oh, her love for her favorite never stops. Be a bit gentler. This vessel is makeshift and not durable. If a divine child like you squeezes with all her strength, I shall keep it in mind. Good. Now I'm off to see the other divine child and her angel. Then I'll come and greet them too. You stay and rest. Blessing or not, a human body is fragile. Don't be careless. Greetings can wait. Then please give them my regards. Leave it to me. Her body was far more tired than she realized. Counting the journey, she had been here less than a week. Thinking of the knights who had endured a month, she could only feel respect. Lord Earth, I've brought your meal. May I come in? That voice. Lord Clive? But nobody could be allowed to see her like this. Hair a mess, no makeup, drenched in sweat, cloak caked with blood. It's a battlefield, so it can't be helped. And she knew Lord Clive wasn't the sort to look down on anyone for it. But in front of her favorite, she still wanted to look as beautiful as possible. All this time, she had only confirmed he was alive from a distance. She wanted to see him so badly it hurt. Lord Earth, are you not in there? She hurriedly adjusted the goggles and the cloth over her face. I'm here. Please come in. I am Clive Laren of the First Squad. Pardon my intrusion. Thank you for your hard work. It's the real Lord Clive. He's moving. He's smiling. It's been so long. She was so happy. Here is today's meal. The soft scent of milk rose from the tray. Milk is hard to come by at the front. He must have prepared this specially for her. The thought made her feel a little guilty. Their hands touched. Thank you. It's nothing. Please be careful, it's quite hot. Also, I have a message from the commander. Please eat first. Have it while it's still warm. The richness of the cheese, a little salt soaking into her worn-out body. Delicious. The bread had softened into the soup, tasting like bread gratin. Since the Holy War began, she had switched to plain battlefield fare, but she was glad the knights ate better than she had imagined. It seems it's to your liking. Forgive me, I was the one who made it. I was worried, so it slipped out. Lord Laren, you cooked this! I'm a rookie, so I still help with meal prep. Since the supply unit lost people, I handle nearly every meal. I was terrible at it at first. So I was relieved when I finally managed something decent enough for Lord Earth to eat. Every spoonful of soup became precious, handsome, kind, strong with a sword, and he can cook. My favorite isn't a man, he's a god. Lord Earth, you never forget to thank God, do you? As expected of a divine child. Yes, haha. About the commander's message. The magic beast attacks come in waves several times a day. Rather than putting the whole burden on you alone, the commander proposes a rotation system with our knight order. He would like to hear your views and the angels on this later. May I ask that of you? Lord Laren, is something the matter? The battle earlier moved me deeply. Your unwavering sword strokes didn't only cut through the magic beasts, it felt as if you sliced open the darkness covering us as well. Lord Clive admires me? What kind of reward is this? Am I dreaming? If he respects me that much, I'll cut down as many beasts as it takes. Thank you. So as not to betray your expectations or anyone's, I'll fulfill my duties. And thank you for the meal. I'll fight all the harder for it. I don't understand it myself. Whenever I look at Lord Earth, I feel restless. My eyes follow you on their own, and I find myself wanting to get closer. To be admired that much by you is an honor. You're making me blush. Is this truly nothing more than admiration? At first, I thought I was simply excited after watching you fight, but my heart should have settled while I was cooking, and standing here, it's unsettled again. Your sword style is one I know very well, so I thought perhaps that was why. Under whom did you study? She had no master, and she could hardly say the model she used was him. It's thanks to my personal angel, Lord Verhellum. She wasn't lying. Her strength now existed only because of the blessing. We've only just met, and somehow I find myself talking this much in front of Lord Earth. Perhaps it's because looking at you reminds me of a lady I'm very close to. She's about your height, with golden hair and golden eyes. He's about to see through me. I am Leon, a divine child. Is now a good time? Clive stopped short. Why? My apologies, I'll be more careful from now on. Then he took the tray and left. Was that the man from the portraits? I felt a trace of Alice coming off Clive. Did you do something to him? Perhaps because we've been friends since childhood and we're always together. Or maybe he's wearing something I gave him directly or through the fan club. I have given him a great many embroidered handkerchiefs. Never mind. I've explained the situation, so go greet your ally, Alice. I am Alice Morgan, the divine child recently granted the holy sword by God. Here I go by the alias Earth, so please call me that. As expected of a ducal house, thank you for such a courteous greeting. I introduced myself as Leon earlier, but my real name is Leonore. As fellow female divine children of the same generation, I hope we get along. I'm Eckhard, Leonore's personal angel. Nice to meet you, Alice. Leonore made this for me from special materials that amplify the effect of the blessing. Blonde hair, blue eyes, a slightly sharp gaze. The robes resemble temple vestments, but they're white. It looks familiar. Jill? Leonore's face went scarlet. I kept insisting that plenty of angels have blonde hair and blue eyes. Even Lord Jill himself hasn't noticed. To think his own sister would find out. Oh, I wish I could crawl into a hole. Jill was a doctor, presentable, and talented beyond question, yet not one rumor about a woman ever attached to him. She had assumed he was too obsessed with work to care about women, or that his twisted personality drove everyone away. And now this? Don't tell me the reason Lady Leonore came all the way to a holy war in disguise is that you're chasing after Jill? Actually, Lord Jill saw through me on the very first day. I cut my hair, changed how I spoke, and covered half my face with a mask. All for nothing. So what is it you like about Jill? The truth is, he saved my life. I lived in the temple from a young age and grew up to serve as a high-ranking priestess. Then one day I collapsed from a disease that had no cure at the time. My abdomen tore at me for days and the fever took my consciousness. I couldn't even drink water. I had prepared myself to die. Lord Jill appeared right then. There's a treatment I want to try. I'd like to use your body. If we're lucky, I can save you. What do you say? What a way to speak to a patient in agony. I thought betting on a new treatment was better than lying there waiting to die. So I agreed. He put me under with a new medicinal herb brought from a neighboring country, then opened my abdomen and removed the cause. And he personally stayed at my side and nursed me until I recovered, though I knew that was follow-up observation as well. He was so kind. I believed meeting him was God's guidance, so I began to pray more fervently than ever. I wanted to save people the way he does. And God heard me and granted me a blessing as a divine child. So it's all thanks to Jill. Yes, my life is essentially built on his existence. Unfortunately, romance is forbidden to a high-ranking priestess. I'm not permitted to express my feelings. Even so, just being by his side makes me extremely happy. A high-ranking priestess is a position attained by those who have dedicated heart and body to God. For them, only a secret love is possible. Lady Leonore, when I miss him so much I can't bear it, the doll modeled after Lord Jill catches all of it, so I'm fine. I understand completely. I wonder how many times I've confessed to my Lord Clive doll. Just putting it into words made her heart so much lighter. That was the only reason she hadn't lost control. To tell you the truth, the vessel Lord Vere is using was modeled after the one I'm currently favoring. You mean Lord Laren of the Viscount family? You know him? I hear Lord Jill say that name constantly. That bastard Clive again. What exactly does Jill say about him? That he's the enemy leading his sister astray. Just the other day. To think you take part in the Holy War as well. I have no desire to treat you, so don't you dare get injured. He's just too clumsy, but I'm glad Lady Alice understands doll love as well. When I saw Lord Eckhard possess it and start moving, I was so moved. With the doll, she could do things she would never dare do with the real Lord Clive. Hugging a doll may be childish, but she couldn't stop. By the way, Lady Alice, have you decided what you'll do once the Holy War ends? A divine child is a favorite of God. By convention, she would enter the temple as a high-ranking priestess. But as a high-ranking priestess, she would be permitted neither romance nor marriage. Actually, this hasn't been made public. But I recently became engaged to Prince Philip. What should I do? If I end up a priestess, I won't be able to keep my promise to His Highness. A lady of a ducal house isn't allowed much freedom. Yes, but the engagement isn't something I dislike. Quite the opposite. It's only that if the engagement fell through, she would not be able to keep Lord Clive at her side. Lord Clive? In your case, Lady Alice, I'm sure it will be fine. There is an exception that allows a divine child to marry without becoming a high-ranking priestess. The spouse of a person beloved by God must be of equal standing. It must be the most noble person in the country. Meaning it can only be the king or the crown prince. If it's Prince Philip, he's more than qualified to be your husband. There won't be any problem. She was flooded with relief. While this love remained unrequited, this was still the best path. Then no matter what, you must return to the royal capital safely. Yes, I'll definitely bring back the people I cherish. To stay with Lord Clive forever, she would bring this holy war to an end. A week had passed since Alice joined the war. The front line crept toward the spring. The closer they came, the larger and stronger the beasts grew. The knights were beginning to be unable to handle them. At first they rotated with her, but at Verhelm's suggestion, Alice took on nearly all the subjugation herself. So most of her day was spent fighting. I am a bit tired, as expected. The beasts had grown bigger and yet faster. Even with the holy sword, it was hard to finish one in a single stroke. That's proof the spring is heavily defiled. We must hurry. Are you all right, Alice? Thank you for your concern, Lord Vere. Then she saw him among the ranks of knights. Ah, Lord Clive is here today as well. Doesn't he have better color than the other day? Until the very end, I won't let a single scratch touch you. I'll protect you. Lord Ver, I'm feeling better already. Just this morning, there had been several magic beast raids. She was a bit worn down. If she could see Lord Clive right now, she'd recover instantly. But since that fateful day, he hadn't brought her meals again. It was a shame not to see him up close, but it beat having her identity exposed. Once she became crown princess, they could be together as much as they wanted. For now, patience. Living in a camp on a battlefield was far harder than she had imagined. Hard cots, thin blankets, insects crawling into the tent constantly, and absolutely no soundproofing. An ordinary noble lady probably wouldn't last a single day, but when she thought that Lord Clive was enduring this same environment, she found the strength to grit her teeth and bear it. Not under the same roof, but calling this living together with Lord Clive was hardly an exaggeration. What is this feeling? Why does it feel so deliciously improper? My apologies for disturbing your rest. Would you mind coming to the headquarters tent? Inside were the knights of the neighboring country His Highness had gone to petition. For them to arrive this fast, he must have closed the negotiations the very day he landed. As expected of Prince Philip. I am Earth, a divine child. Thank you for rushing here. Please lend us your strength. The whole line of knights knelt. The honor is ours, to serve alongside a divine child and an angel. We witnessed the battle earlier, and we were moved by your strength. Just like the knights of the Granbell Kingdom, the knights of our nation offer our swords to you. Thank you. I accept your oath. How many knights have come to support us? A total of 100 dispatched from our country. Please give us your orders. Impressive builds, dignified bearing, clearly professionals. Fewer than she expected, but with the beast growing stronger, quality mattered more than quantity. The defense line would be far more solid. Tonight we will carry out the purification mission. The cannons of the first line have advanced to the edge of the forest that holds the spring. But because of the beasts, we lack the capacity to clear the forest, so we can't advance further. Therefore, the knights alone will slip into the forest to reach the spring. To purify it, we must throw in the holy crystal, so a priest who can release the crystal's power is essential. The knights must fight the beasts while shielding the priest. Fighting while shielding a priest with no combat ability. Knights with half-hearted skill would only lose their lives. Strategist, may I see the list of knights you've selected for the task force? Fighting magic beasts inside the forest is far too dangerous for the knights. So let me go to the spring alone. I have my angel with me. Leave it to me. And we can release the crystal's power. Please entrust this to us. That would indeed be the plan with the fewest casualties. As expected of Lord Earth, to propose such a plan for the knight's sake, without regard for your own safety. On the list, she read one name, Clive Liren. Whatever it took, she would protect Lord Clive. That was the whole reason she had obtained this holy sword. Crossing the forest alone, the trees will block me and I may not get them all. Whatever slips through toward the line, I'm counting on you to hold your position. Understood. Please leave it to us. The tent flap was yanked open. Jill, in the middle of cleaning his glasses, jumped. Hey, foolish sister, time for your checkup. Jill and Lady Leonore too. I'm fine, really. That kind of overconfidence is what gets you killed. Let me confirm whether you're actually all right. He's right, Lady Alice. If anything is wrong, I'll heal you right away. Alice, lie face down. Then he pressed along her back. Oh, that feels good. Hitting the pressure points exactly. This is definitely a massage, not an examination. Jill being this honest and gentle is actually kind of frightening. Shut up. I don't care if you've become the strongest alive. You're wringing this body dry, stiff as a board. Just how hard have you been pushing yourself? Heading out in this condition would make you an idiot. Honestly, you divine children are all the same. Every one of you prioritizes others and runs yourselves into the ground. Spare a thought for whoever has to clean up after you. Oh? Did Lady Leonore do it too? Actually, yesterday I got dizzy and collapsed from overusing my divine power. Lord Jill was furious with me. Yesterday they had killed nearly the whole pack, but a few slipped through. She heard the knights who stopped them were all injured, some critically. Leonore must have healed them. If I hadn't been standing right beside you, you'd have cracked your head open. And it wasn't just yesterday. You've hidden it a few times now, haven't you? I've been keeping a very close eye on you, Lady Leonore. You're right. Thank you for catching me that day. I'll be more careful. Jill and Lady Leonore get along so well. It's almost infuriating to watch. All done. Her body felt noticeably lighter. She really had been pushing harder than she realized. You're very observant, Jill. Knowing how reckless you are, it wasn't hard to guess. Besides, when the angel asks me, I have no choice but to listen, even in that loathsome form. Caring for one's partner is only natural. Think nothing of it. Hey, don't hug that doll in front of me, it's an eyesore. It's almost time. Leonore gripped her hand tightly. I pray for your victory, Lady Alice. Thank you very much. Now I can face them with peace of mind. I'll buy you a new one. Change into a different doll when you get back. That's entirely up to Lord Vere. But even if he changes vessels, I'm never letting go of this doll, you know? I've grown attached to this doll's body as well. I don't intend to change it for a while. My apologies, Jill. Alice, listen to me. Elite knights from the neighboring kingdom have arrived too. If it gets dangerous, I should run, right? As long as you understand. Your life above all else, remember that. Thanks to Jill and Lady Leonore coming here, not only had her body recovered, her nerves had eased as well. Having people she was allowed to reveal her true identity to was precious beyond words. I'm heading out. It's time, I'll be going. The knights were already standing by on the front line. To see the face of the one you love before heading into battle was rare luck indeed. A glove fell to the ground and she picked it up. Lord Laren, this is yours. Thank you for picking it up. I'm in the middle of transporting these. We're replacing our old gloves with new ones in preparation for the purification operation. I expect the beasts we face will be stronger than ever before. The old leather is soaked with beast blood, and once you sweat, your hand slips on the hilt. To make sure that doesn't happen, we decided to close even the smallest gap. The whole unit was determined enough to burn through their precious spares. If everyone had gone that far, then it was her own hands that had to carry this to success. It may be presumptuous for a low-ranking knight to say this to someone as strong as Lord Earth, but I beg of you, do not get hurt. I know the sizes don't match. Please just think of it as a charm. Clive had been at the front longer than she had, and must be exhausted from fighting the beasts. And still he stepped forward for the senior knights and for the operation, and then worried about her on top of it. As expected, Clive is the treasure of this world. She could not afford to lose him. Thank you, I feel much steadier now. Take care of yourself too, Lord Laren, don't get hurt. Yes, I'll be waiting for your safe return, Lord Earth. Then good luck to us both. And he turned and walked toward the front line. Clive is waiting for her. So no matter what, she has to come back. Having seen him, her strength overflowed. Purify the spring, and these days of hiding her identity would end. Clive would join the Royal Guard, and she would keep him at her side as her personal knight with her head held high. And to reach that day, she had to clear every obstacle. The first magic beast came charging. They were bigger, their hide thicker. Now even the holy sword wouldn't cut clean through without force behind it. Too shallow? Damn it, I have to chase it down. Alice, trust the knights, don't forget our role. Yes, it's fine. That one is wounded, and the allied reinforcements have arrived. Hesitating here and delaying the purification, letting more beasts spawn, would be far worse. Thanks to the trail the beasts had trampled, the horse still had footing, but the trees grew at random and she couldn't run a straight line. She cut down another, then spurred the horse on again. Everyone, I'm counting on you. Please stay safe. The deeper in, the denser the trees, and the harder it was to swing. The number of beasts escaping the holy sword grew. Half of them chased after her. Hard to swing, and she had to deal with the ones on her tail as well. But she only had to trust the knights and aim straight for the spring. Hang in there, horse! 10 days since she left the estate, but over a month since the beasts first appeared. The time she spent worrying about Clive had felt endless, a nightmare. If I don't end it here and now, then when... Alice, the spring is right ahead! She burst through the arch of light and stopped dead. Around the water's edge were dozens of pitch-black magic beasts. They're pouring out of the defiled spring, one after another. Alice, if they multiply any further, we're finished. Prioritize the purification. Yes! O sacred power slumbering within the pure crystal, answer my voice and awaken. Destroy the darkness with the power of God. Now. But to get the crystal into the water, she had to cut through the beasts and get closer. Then one of them slammed into her. Its jaws closed on her body. She was thrown into the air and hit the ground. Executing pain reduction through divine energy, assisting with levitation. Fly to the top of the trees, hurry. She sprang onto a high branch, gasping for air. One beat slower, and she would have been trampled flat. Alice, are you all right? Yes. I can still move. My body aches, but thanks to the blessing, I can still swing the holy sword. Except now she had been pushed even further from the spring. Beneath the trees, the beasts swarmed. Too many for her to handle alone. And if she fell back to regroup, that entire horde would come down on the knights. Lord Ver, what do we do now?